Hi, this is Marcus Pulis, and this is Aquarian Anarchy. Before I get started, don't forget to like, share, comment down below. Get yourself a t-shirt like this one I'm wearing at the Aquarian Anarchy store. Links are down below. So, to get into this week's news. Last week, I made a post on Twitter. It was the article I'm about to read, and I was excited. I said, and I quote, "Finally, hopefully this comes to pass. I am skeptical because of the long drawdown, but it is progress. Bring them home. War is murder." What I'm talking about is a Politico article from Saturday, February 29th. All U.S. troops withdraw from Afghanistan under peace deal. Cool. I don't trust Trump. I've never trusted Trump. But if we could get him home, I'll give him credit for that. The article continues. Condition-based withdrawal will be complete in 14 months if Taliban keeps their commitment. Who believes that the Taliban is going to keep their commitment? That's not going to happen. That's what I was thinking. It might last 3 or 4 months, but somebody's going to screw up. So, to dive into the article. The United States signed a historic peace deal with the Taliban in Doha, Qatar, Saturday that officials hope will mark the beginning of the end of America's longest war. Under the deal, all U.S. troops would withdraw from Afghanistan in 14 months if the Taliban meet their commitments. It's 14 months. I'm thinking at the time, 14 months is a long time. Some crazy crap can happen in 14 months. And that was my opinion going forward. The signing between, I'm going to butcher this name. I'm not good at names. If you've watched this at all, you've figured it out. But it is. I'm going to give it a try. Zalmay Khalilzad and Taliban officials will set the stage for the final withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan after 19 years of violence that has killed more than 3,500 American and coalition troops and tens of thousands of Afghans since the U.S. invaded following the terrorist attacks of September 11th. I could get into that crap for days, but I'm not going to because I'm going to get into this particular article. Another one after it. So anyway, in remarks in Doha, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and remember he's on the Cheney Doctrine, and the Cheney Doctrine states that imminent attacks happen sometime in your lifetime. Just have to bring that up because he's a warmongering asshole. So anything that involves his involvement, you can bet they aren't trying to have peace. Because this guy is another one, just like John McCain or Lindsey Graham or any of these other neocon monster tools that they have never seen a war they didn't like. So anyway, but Mike Pompeo lauded the peace agreement and the Taliban's compliance with a 7-day reduction in violence that paved the way for the accord. 7 days. They were peaceful. So they could do this accord. But he cautioned that an enduring peace is contingent on the militant group fulfilling its promises to cut ties with Al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups and sit down for intra-Afghan talks with the Kabul government. Quote, "This agreement will mean nothing." Yeah, the crystal ball. I'm telling you that much. This agreement will mean nothing. Sorry, he goes on. And today's good feelings will not last. Hello, pay attention to these words. This agreement will mean nothing, and today's good feelings will not last if we don't take concrete actions on commitments and promises that have been made. It's kind of like knowing the end of the story, because I know the end of the story, and it's about to get amusing. So anyway, Pompeo said, quote, "I know there will be a temptation to declare victory." Didn't they already do that? Bush on and jumped the flight suit. We won! 19 years ago. Yeah, so anyway. Victory for Afghans will only be achieved when they can live in peace and prosper. Good luck. We've got Americans in there. We don't believe in peace. This is American dictatorship. What are you thinking? You bow to us, motherfuckers. That's what he's really saying. So anyway, the Secretary of Defense, Mark Espers, I've heard him before too, traveled to Kabul on Saturday to appear beside Afghan President Ashraf Ghani and NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg for a joint declaration. Photo op. Get in right now, buddy. You better get it done quickly. That's all I got to say. So anyway, quote, "Thanks to President Trump's leadership." Perfect. His leadership. He's leading all right. "We are finally making substantial progress towards ending our nation's longest war," Esper said. Substantial. It's substantial. This is it. We're almost there. I can see the goalpost. Today's release of the joint declaration between the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan and the United States marks a pivotal moment in the peace process. But the agreement is only the first step to an enduring peace for the war-torn country. The U.S. withdrawal hinges on the Taliban's fulfillment of major commitments and have hobbled peace agreements in the past, including breaking with Al-Qaeda, the Islamic State, and other terrorist groups, and maintaining the reduction in violence seen over the last week. They're like throwing a big party over a week. Anyhow, Esper said, it is also dependent on difficult negotiations between the Taliban and Afghan government over power sharing and lasting ceasefire. So, all that aside, all right, when this happened on Saturday, it's currently Tuesday, on Saturday, I was like, it's a good thing. We're moving in the right direction, right? It's a good thing. Except Tuesday came. So, this may have been the shortest agreement in history. Remember all that prophesizing that Pompeo was doing. This is from Slate today. the March 2nd. U.S. Taliban agreement is not a peace deal. It's not even a ceasefire. Fighting resumed in Afghanistan on Monday, leading some to note that the peace accord, which the combatants signed on Saturday, may be the shortest on record, a fitting pseudo-coda to the longest war in U.S. history. But in fact, contrary to many media reports, the document in question is not a peace accord, nor does it pretend to be. It is instead, as the title puts it, an agreement for bringing peace to Afghanistan. And peace, we're all peaceful now with the treaty. They're telling people, and they fooled me. They got me. I was like, oh, well, maybe we're making it. Nope, that didn't happen. So, we will continue. Nor is it even a ceasefire accord. So they didn't even get the people to stop shooting at each other. People are still shooting at each other in Afghanistan right now. Yes, the U.S. negotiator, Zalmay Khalilzad, insisted that all sides observed a 7-day reduction in violence. Reduction. I love how they talk. Reduction. Eminent. Beginning on February 21st. before signing the document, and they did. But he did not explicitly require that they extend the period of less violence after the signing took place. So they got together and signed a piece of paper that said, nothing. Nothing. Not a thing. Didn't say anything. No reduction in nothing. Woo! I mean, at least Bush had something to talk about. God damn. So anyway, and so the Taliban announced on Monday that the offensive operations would resume. Okay, we got our photo op. Everybody out. These people. No. And they did. With a bomb that killed 3 people and injured 11 at a soccer match in the eastern part of the country. Saturday, peace. Pictures. Monday, bombs. I can't wait. Because what's going to happen, what always happens, I'm going to have some Trump supporter, I'm going to say, Trump didn't do nothing. He got peace in Afghanistan. No, he didn't. Oh, yeah. No, we didn't. Prove it. Here you go. They're lying. That's fake news. Slate. So basically what they do is they do some heinous crap. Like, they do this all the time. They publish something. This is absolutely false. Nothing true about it at all. They publish it. 1 million people see it. And it's wrong. Somebody catches that it's wrong really quickly, and then they pull it back. Right? And they put something out. Now, number one, if we're talking like the New York Times, they've got the front page says whatever it was. So they put the paper out again. It's on the back page, stuffed in. It's down in here. They don't. So if 1 million people saw it, the retraction gets 100,000 people that see it. So most of these other idiots are walking around going, our peace now. Kumbaya and over in Afghanistan. We brought them home. What do you mean? There's no more troops over there at all. Because they didn't read anything but the headline anyway. They're talking about peace in Afghanistan. Then their mind goes, oh yeah, they brought them home yesterday. They're not there no more. When in all reality, even the deal they pretended that they had, which they didn't have, was for 14 months. I mean, the initial one made me go, I don't know if they can do 14 months. I don't know if they can pull that off. They didn't do a week. Not a week. Not a single week. The first week, they didn't stop shooting at each other. They reduced. Instead of shooting each other 1,000 times, they shot each other 500 times. Good job, guys. I mean, but this is the propaganda we deal with. Then arose another similarly predictable obstacle. The agreement calls for the release of up to 5,000 Taliban prisoners. Bet you they do that. And they're still bombing people. Let those people go. Because they kind of give some kind of justification when they're going to start a war with these people that cross the border into Iran or Iraq or do something. And up to 1,000 other prisoners, mainly Afghan security forces, held by the Taliban. By March 10th, when direct talks between... anyway, so number one, they're giving up 1,000, 5,000. I tell you what, this news program, I was supposed to be humorous occasionally. I spend most of my time laughing at this crap. And it's sad. It's sad because I'm not actually laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I don't believe them anymore. So anyway, back to the article. But this prisoner exchange is laid out only in the agreement between the United States and the Taliban. The joint declaration between the U.S. and Afghan government, which was published simultaneously, says no such thing. The only mention of prisoners in this document is as follows, again with italics added. So anyway, in the article's italics. To create the conditions for reaching a political settlement and achieving permanent, sustainable ceasefire, the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan will participate in a U.S.-facilitated discussion with the Taliban representatives of the confidence-building measures to include determining the feasibility of releasing significant numbers of prisoners on both sides. Well, feasibility. I'm thinking there's not very much feasibility. I'm just, call me weird, but when you drop a bomb, 2 days after saying you're not going to do it anymore, then probably a good chance that's not a believable person. I don't know. But I would bet. So, all right. In other words, the Afghan government agreed to no exchange of prisoners, and its president, Ashraf Ghani, might have good reason to be stunned by such a clause in the U.S. deal with the Taliban. Release? Oh, hell no. We ain't letting nobody go. As a result, no surprise, Ghani has said he will not observe the exchange prior to negotiations. You think? The U.S., no wonder they didn't keep their promise. The U.S. said we're going to release 5,000 of your people. They didn't bother to mention it to the Afghans who actually hold them. Which seems rational from his viewpoint. The U.S.-Taliban deal will fall apart. Will fall apart. Hey, there are some lessons here for negotiators. In the case of the 7-day reduction in violence, 7-day reduction in violence, they should be very explicit in the language of any treaty signed with the Taliban, or for that matter, anyone else, if the Americans expected the period of violence reduction would be extended beyond the initial 7 days. Do you think you might want to say, okay, we got here. They're like, okay, pause, guys. Start shooting. I mean, that's the dumbest shit ever. Oh, who thinks the state's a smart idea? I mean, who thinks that this is good? I don't. Do they get the dumbest? Yes, they get the dumbest people. That's the answer. They do that. Donald Trump is the president. Yes, they get the dumbest people. Shh. He beat Hillary Clinton. Currently, and I'm going to cover this in a minute too, but currently, front runners are Bernie Sanders and Joe Sniffing Kids Biden. Yes, they get the dumbest people. So, and they shouldn't have agreed on a prisoner exchange without the consent of the Afghan government, do you think? Which, after all, is holding the Taliban prisoners. If the three sides of this awkward arrangement can get past the initial phase of the agreement for bringing peace to Afghanistan, the next steps are quite ambitious. Within 135 days, the United States will cut its number of troops to 8,500, about the same number that President Obama left in place before Trump. In other words, they're not reducing anything. They're just pulling it back to what before Trump took office. Details. Details. And NATO allies will reduce their numbers proportionately. Then, by May 2021, the U.S. and its allies will withdraw all remaining armed forces, as well as all non-diplomatic civilian personnel, private security contractors, trainers, advisors, and support service personnel. They knew going in, just like the stuff they tried to pull with Israel and the Palestinians. They knew going into this wasn't going to work. They're just doing this so the Americans, damn, like I said earlier, so the Trump supporters, hey, they brought them home. They're home already. I don't know what you're talking about. I told on CNN. Fake news. You're fake news. In exchange, the Taliban agreed not to let any of its members use the soil of Afghanistan to threaten the security of the United States and its allies. Like they're going to do any of that. These are terrorists. And then there's the people in Afghanistan too. Because the American government is the biggest terrorist organization on the planet. And they also agree to bar members from having any association with or providing visas, passports, or other assistance to any groups or individuals that do pose a threat. You can't do that. Anyhow, at that point, the United States will pursue good relations with a more inclusive Afghan government to be determined by the Afghans themselves, including a review of relaxing sanctions against the Taliban members who are part of the new regime. In other words, if this deal goes through, the United States and NATO will be out of Afghanistan entirely, except for the routine diplomatic presence. The war, at least our part in it, will be over. Never gonna happen. Couldn't go 2 days. That being the case, it is not clear how the Taliban side of the deal will be enforced, or who will enforce it. In a speech on February 29th, okay, so I'm just going to skip the rest of this. This is all bullshit. There ain't none of that going to happen. In 2 days. They couldn't last 2 days. Could not last 2 days. But Trump's going to cart out the monumental success in Afghanistan. I brought him home. And he didn't. It's not my fault they started shooting again. Damn Afghan government not releasing their prisoners. Alright, so that was some bullcrap. I wish it was true. I really do. War is murder. It is nothing more than a territorial monopoly of force and violence, a government expanding its tax base and its control. It's what it is. It's what it's always going to be. And government is nothing more than that territorial monopoly of force and violence. And all they are capable of doing is extorting you and murdering you and those sorts of things. They're criminals. So, what makes you think that any of them are different? The answer to that is none of them are different. I don't trust any of them. That includes libertarians. I'm a libertarian. I'm working hard to get Adam Kokesh elected to dissolve the federal government. But everybody that wants to hold power is trying to hold power over you. That's what that power they talk about is. It is a ownership stake in you. So, speaking of those who want to own you, the Democratic race continues to make me laugh, because it does. No need to read a whole lot about all this, but I'm going to cover it. Here are the headlines. As Buttigieg, whatever the hell his name is, Butt-Jizz. Nobody can pronounce this dude's name. It's one of the reasons why he was never going to win. Ain't nobody, Buttigieg, I can't pronounce names very well, but I can't get his at all. Mayor Pete exits race. Biden seeks edge against Sanders on Super Tuesday. New York Times. So he left. Translation to this whole thing, both that and what's about to happen, is holy hell. Bernie is gonna win. Biden bought Mayor Pete, after buying South Carolina. That's mine. Thank you. I sniffed his kids. I paid for I paid for them in full. I sniffed it. I put the sniff on it. So anyhow, he would go on today. This is all happening today. He would go on to make another purchase. Amy Klobuchar ends presidential campaign, endorses Joe Biden. LA Times. So, what's going on with that? It's actually pretty simple. I was right. Like for 2 weeks, I've been like, I could have been wrong. You know, maybe Sanders is going to take this thing. Because he keeps winning and he keeps winning and he keeps winning. They keep trying to steal it away from him, taking the ball away, you know. But Bernie's actually got enough support that can't hide it. They can't sweep it under the rug. And when they were all divided out, absolutely true. There's nothing they could do. But now, unfortunately for Bernie, those other two funneled their people right at Biden. Going right to Biden. They ain't going to Bernie. I mean, there might be one or two people that were like, wee, Mayor Pete, Bernie. Maybe one or two. But the majority of them are not going to him. The only person that could funnel people to Bernie, maybe Elizabeth Warren. She's going to stay in, is my guess. I'm guessing she's going to stay in. And back to what I had initially thought. They're going to take this thing all the way to the convention. They're going to divide it. Nobody's going to get 50% on the first vote. And what do you know? The superdelegates are going to pick Biden. Biden's going to lose to Trump. It's that simple. You know, it blows my mind that people can't see that this is planned. You know, and I think, you know, I think that Bernie might even be like, I don't really want to be president. I want to go to the nursing home. You know, but he's a tool because he's keeping that ultra liberal socialist people on the farm. You know, they can't possibly go look at the Green Party. Bernie's got them beat. You know, so they're keeping them on the reservation. It's very similar to what they did with the Tea Party. I love Ron Paul. He was a good person. Still is a good person. But he did not help that. And in Bernie may be a similar situation where he's kind of not aware of how he's being used. But he's being used. Because the Ron Paul was used to keep libertarians on the GOP reservation. And now they just mimic after Trump, the people that he kept. So that's basically what what's going on with the Democratic race. Is it's over. They're not going to say it's over because that would ruin the fun. But Biden's got it. He's going to get it. He won South Carolina. He's got a few delegates spread out in the other states. And you're going to see him start picking up more and more. Because now he's got all these other people who used to be for them funneling into his campaign. And so that builds his coalition. He moves forward. And the only person who could build towards Bernie is going to stay in. Could be wrong. It doesn't matter. They're both going to lose to Trump. It does not matter. At the end of the day, this is all a game. The winner was decided a long time ago. They were going 8 years with Trump. They can use him to distract. That's a tool they have found they do not want to lose anytime soon. So anyway, they're going to keep doing that. But while I've been studying some of this, I found some interesting information. Speaking of money and Biden buying everything, I was curious and I looked up the top donors for Trump, Biden, and Bernie. What I expected was to find kind of what I found with Bush and uh, not and McCain and with Obama and Mitt Romney. That like Goldman Sachs was one of the primary donors to both Obama and uh, to Mitt Romney. And people say, "Oh, they can't give it. They just tell their people, you get $2,500, you get $2,500, you get $2,500. Go donate this to whoever I tell you to." So that's all bull. The limits only work for honest people. That's the way government works anyway. But I expected to find something like that, and I didn't. It was interesting to me that I didn't. Biden and Trump were kind of boring because the majority of what they had, you kind of guess. They're typical, banking, property, places, PACs, things like that. Things that you expect to be donating, or the people that work for whatever campaign or whatever. You kind of expect that. And so that was kind of boring. But Bernie, on the other hand, was very interesting by who, from what corporations and businesses were donated to Bernie. So I'm gonna dive into this. Okay, this is a quote, and this came from Open Secrets. So this is the quote from the top of it. It says, "This table lists the top donors to this candidate in the 2020 cycle. The money came from the organization's PACs, their individual members, employees or owners, and other individuals' immediate families. At the federal level, the organizations themselves did not donate, as they are prohibited by law from doing so. Organization totals include subsidiaries and affiliates." So the contributors to Bernie, number one. So these are people. Number one, the University of California. School. Education. The people that are teaching your kids in California. That's number one, donating to Bernie. If you have a kid in the University of California, get them the hell out of there. Oh my goodness. So, number two. It's actually number two that troubles me the most. Alphabet Incorporated. Anybody know who Alphabet Incorporated is? It's Google, YouTube. They're controlling the information. These are the people controlling the information, are the ones donating to Bernie Sanders. Look up communist plans for this country from like 50 years ago. They got it. They control education, information. Number three, this one surprised me too. Amazon. People that hate Jeff Bezos. Showing that that's all bullcrap. That argument between Bernie and Bezos, that's bull. As we already knew. Microsoft Corporation, Apple Incorporated, back-to-back computers. Your information. Kaiser Permanente. All right. U.S. Postal Service. The Post Office. AT&T. Your phone. Walmart. Where you buy stuff. I will grant you, with Walmart, some of that's probably because their employers are like, we're getting ass raped by this corporation. We want to go with Bernie. The U.S. Army. The U.S. Air Force. I don't think I need to comment on that. The state of California. Who makes this list? People working for the state of California. The United States Department of Defense. Yeah, voting for Bernie with their money. The United Parcel Service, UPS, where you get your stuff from. The United States Department of Veterans Affairs, the people that run the veterans programs that are causing 22 veterans a day commit suicide. Yeah, they're giving to Bernie so that he makes that everybody, not just veterans. The U.S. Navy had to play a part. The United States government. This is the deep state given to Bernie. The City University of New York. In New York, had to do something. California already gave twice. And IBM Corp. I don't know what I can say beyond that. I really don't. Because that's kind of frightening. Those are some key places being controlled by communists. He's a democratic socialist. Covered in the last video, the only difference between a democratic socialist and a communist is democratic socialists too lazy to throw a revolution. So they are the people controlling all those things. It's absolutely terrifying. So, what's the solution? Because certainly in Trump. Certainly, because he's doing the same thing. He is socialism light. His last speech, which I covered a couple weeks ago, got madder now, shows it. He's a socialist. He ain't any help. So the only thing you got left is the Libertarian Party. LP.org. Get involved. Might not work. I know some of my anarchist friends are going to be like, and I'm an anarchist, so some of my anarchist friends are going to be like, voting is wrong, and it doesn't matter anyway, and you shouldn't vote, and okay, don't vote. I don't care. But I agree with Spooner. It's self-defense. I'm trying to lighten the load as much as I can. And the best way to do that is through the Libertarian Party. If it grows, sure, it might be a bunch of minarchists. I'm okay with that. I can handle some minarchists over socialists. And I will take that step. Because, like Rothbard said, it is in the direction that I'm trying to get to. So, I'm okay taking a step in that direction. I'm not going to take a different direction, Trump or Bernie or anybody like that, but in the same direction, that's great. It may take longer their way, but I'll take their way over the other asshole's way. So there's that. So Libertarian Party is the only option. Been watching their debates. I work for Adam Kokesh, and I really have enjoyed the debates. And what's different about my opinions and many libertarians' opinions about these different candidates is, like, the Bernie people don't like the Biden people. The Biden people don't like the Bernie people, and all that. I like the people in the Libertarian Party. I'm probably one of the people that is farthest in that field for my own personal beliefs is Jo Jorgensen. But you know what? I can appreciate her. She's trying to build the party. I'm on board. Not going to be my candidate. Probably never going to be my candidate. But, okay. In that direction. Okay. I love Vermin Supreme. Great. He's hilarious. And he's got some good ideas. Dan Behrman. Taxation is theft. For sure. Behrman, whatever. Great guy. Really nice guy. I've talked to a lot of his people. Many of these candidates are fantastic. So what makes it particular that I have chosen and continue to choose Adam Kokesh? Well, one of the things is that he absolutely does what I've talked about is my goals, to speak radically and act pragmatically. He has a pragmatic vision for his radical thoughts. How do we set this in motion? His radical thoughts are to dissolve the federal government through a process of localization, handing the power back to the states and the native tribes and all of that. So it's a good plan. And he knows how to deliver it. And you put him on stage and things are going to change. Things are going to be heard. People are going to pay attention. You put somebody boring on there, you put somebody that is nothing but a stuffed suit, who has maybe some great theories, but no follow through, nobody can get behind him and get energized. That's a losing strategy. So I chose Adam. And over the last few months, he has shown why you should too. Am I making a pitch that if you're in the LP to vote for Adam Kokesh? You bet. Of course I am. I am an anarchist. I'm a voluntarist. I totally disagree with government in any level. I want it localized as far down as possible. So am I making an anarchist plea to minarchists? Yes, we're on the same team. Again, you're moving in my direction. Are you more pragmatic? Maybe. So let's work together. I'll do the talking. You do the walking. We got it handled. And that's where Adam really shines. Because he can get the attention that down ballot candidates need. He can get the attention that they need to build. If they disagree with him, this is a very similar pitch to what Vermin's saying. If they disagree with Adam, say so. But he got you that conversation. So, and he has serious plans. This is the only ethical libertarian platform I have seen. Again, I like a lot of the other candidates, could very easily vote for many of those candidates. But Adam is by far the best spoken, the most polished, the most pragmatic and radical libertarian this party has seen in a long time. And he has it. He has that strength of character to stand up to Donald Trump. You can see it in the debates. I've got California linked below. I've got Florida linked below. And I have Alabama linked below. Go watch them. You'll see. It is simple. Adam is polite. Adam is a good person. But he's also principled. And he also looks good in a suit. Because some people care about that. But he does. He is the entire package that a libertarian candidate should be. So yes, I'm making a pitch for you to consider Adam Kokesh. If you're an anarchist and don't vote, okay. Maybe come out and vote this once. Give it a shot. See if we can dissolve the federal government. It is time to finally free America. So, my commentary. Outside of that last little bit about Adam and about the Libertarian Party, who even outside of Adam are awesome people. You are being given a whole slate of lies. You're being given, whether you're talking about all this crap, the control that the Bernie supporters have got of the information of Google, whether you're talking about that or you're talking about the bullcrap behind the scenes at the DNC and these stupid pretend games like that they don't know who's going to be the next guy. That's all lies. Or the lies that they're feeding you through propaganda, like the fake war ending to get you distracted. Stop believing the lies. Stop. Think for yourself. Wake up and use reason. And use your heart. Use emotion. Find truth. Look it up yourself. Don't just listen to me. Do it yourself. So, to close out, my quote for this week is by Lysander Spooner. He said, quote, "Those who are capable of tyranny are capable of perjury to sustain it." Thank you very much. Again, if you've liked this, just hit that like button, share, and check out my t-shirts. Really like this one. Just got it this week. And stay free.